Okay, next up we have expressions and functions. Let's do April 3rd. This is the assignment here. I'm going to click it. You click this. You get to your assignment, right? A lot of these we already done already. All right. So I'm going to do, I think you have about a few standards here, right? I'm going to do 2 questions per standard and then leave you off with the rest. So here we have Madison created 2 functions, function A, and the value of y is 2 less than 4 times the value of x. The table below represents function B. So first we're going to find the function of the equation for these 2 functions. We've done this already in class. So the value of function y, the value of y is 2 less than 4 times the value of x. Here, rise over run for the slope, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Our m is 4. And okay, we got from -1 to +1. Okay, so it goes up by 2. Ooh, plus 2, plus 2. No, I gotta change that, right? Our rise is 4, our run is 2. That means our slope is 2. So y equals 2, m equals 2. We got to find our b by using the slope-intercept form equation. So let's pick a coordinate. X is 1, y is -1, m is 2, plus b. 2 plus b equals -1, minus 2 minus 2. Eliminates. -1 minus 2 is -3, equals b. So here, this table, this is the sentence, and this table, y equals 2x minus 3. So let's read. In comparing the rates of change, when you see rates of change, it means slope. Which statement about function A and function B is true? Function A and function B have the same rate of change. This is 2 and this is 4. That's not true. Function A has a greater rate of change than function B. So function A is 4, the slope of that is 4, and the slope of this is 2. That is true. So for your answer here, all right? So for your answer, you can either show your work, take a picture, send it to Teacher Man 91 or 646-413-8362. Or, which would be a lot to do, right? You got your answer B, and it's why do you choose the answer? I chose this answer because whatever. I feel like in this situation, showing your work would be easier. Explaining would be a lot of writing, so that's up to you. I move on to the second question. I'm only doing 2, then I'm moving on. Okay, the table below represents a linear function, obviously. Which function has a greater slope and a greater y-intercept than the linear function represented in the table? So here we have, we got to find this equation. All right, so we got plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Our rise is 4, our run is 2, equals 2. So our m equals 2. And then we don't have the y-intercept because there's no value of y when x is 0. So we have to create our slope-intercept form, right? Pick a coordinate. X -1, y is 5. Our m is 2 plus b, -2 plus b equals 5, plus 2 plus 2 is b equals 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. So our equation is y equals 2x plus 7. Here they're asking which function has a greater slope and a greater y-intercept than the linear function represented below. So this answer has to have a greater slope, a bigger number than 2 and a bigger number than 7. And here, that is B. Where this M is 3, right? That's bigger than 2. And the B is 7.5. That's bigger than 7. So here, answer. And why did you choose the answer? You can either take a picture and send this to me, or you can explain what you did. Moving along. All right, I spotted you 2 questions. All right, let's go to the next. All right. Now on 8.EE5. So, the express elevator in the Empire State Building in New York City travels nonstop from the ground floor to the top floor at a rate of 1,400 feet per minute. The express elevator in the John Hancock Center in Chicago travels nonstop from the ground floor to the top observatory on the top floor at a rate represented by the equation y equals 30x. What is the height in feet and x in the number of seconds? Graph the 2 relationships on the grid below to compare your rates. So this you'll probably have to do on a piece of paper. So they already give us the equation for the John Hancock, which is y equals 30x, right, in height, and that represents number of seconds. Here, they give us the Empire State Building travels non-stop ground floor to the top floor at a rate of 1,400 feet per minute. It's in minutes. You want it in seconds, so 60 seconds per minute. We divide that, and we get calculator. .3 seconds per minute. So here, y equals 23.3. Now, automatically, it asks you which elevator travels at a faster rate, right? We're just looking at it. John Hancock travels at a faster rate because the rate of 30 seconds per minute is higher than the Empire State Building, 23 seconds per minute, right? You do not have to do the graph. You do not have to do the graph. Don't have to do the graph. And then explain why did you choose the answer. You would explain what you did, how you found the slope for John Hancock in the Empire State Building, and then explain here. Right? I'm cutting you a break. You do not have to do the graph. Moving on. Stanley drove his car on a business trip. When he left his house at a mileage of 840 miles, and when he returned, the mileage was 1,200 miles. Then the car used 12 gallons of gasoline for the trip. Draw a graph on the grid below to show the relationship between the gasoline used, X, and the distance traveled, Y, during Stanley's trip. Carla made the same trip as Stanley, but her car used only 10 gallons of gasoline. Graph the gasoline usage of the Carla's car on the same grid as Stanley's car. So here, started at 8, when he left, had 840. When he returned, the mileage was 1,200. So you ran it up. This shows you what they started with and what they ended with. We don't know how much miles they traveled. So to do that, you take what they ended with minus what they started with. And I believe you get 360. If they traveled 360 miles, you take that and divide it by the 12 gallons of gasoline for the trip, and you should get 30. So the equation for this would be y equals 30x. Right? We don't know how much distance you travel, but he used 30 miles per gallon. Per gallon. Here, Carla made a trip, same as Stanley, but only used 10 gallons. So both of them used the same trip. So she traveled 360 miles, but 10 miles a gallon. So, 360 divided by 10, 3, 10 times 3, 30. That would be 6. You bring that to 0. So she traveled 36 miles per gallon. Y equals 36. This is Carla. This is Stanley. How do the slopes of Stanley and Carla's car compare? So comparing meaning comparing these two numbers. It looks like to me that Carla used more miles per gallon than Stanley because she used 36 miles per gallon and he used 30 miles per gallon. So here you would you have your work shown, you would use this work in my explanation to answer that here. The answer, right? Carla used more miles per gallon. Here, you explain why Carla used more miles per gallon. Moving on, all right? That's on you guys. 7.EEB. Whew. So we've all done this before. This is, what is the value of t that satisfies the equation below? Here you would definitely have to show your work on a piece of paper. You would definitely have to show your work on a piece of paper. So here I do 2 questions. So remember, distributed property, 3 times t is 3t, plus 3 times 4 is 12, minus 2 times 2t is 4t, plus 2 times 3 is 6, equals -4. Here you combine like terms. 3t minus 4t is -1t. 12 minus 6 is 6 equals -4. Minus 6 minus 6, that's -4 minus 6 is -10. -1t equals -10 divided by -1 divided by -1. -10 divided by -1, t equals +10. T equals, right, 10, right, you put that there. And then why did you choose the answer? You can either explain or you can show this work here. My suggestion is show this work, send it to my number, TeacherMan91, and I'll put that in your folder. Down here, solve the equation below. Again, 0.2d, 0.2 minus -6, 0.2 times -6 is -0.3. Wait. 1.2 equals 0.3d plus 5 minus 3 plus 0.1d. Whew, it's a lot. So here we gotta combine like terms. Okay, so 0.3d plus 0.1d is 0.4d. And then 5 minus 3 is +2. Here is 0.2d minus 1.2 equals this. So here we gotta eliminate. We want to do the variables first. So the opposite of positive is negative. That eliminates that. That gives you 0.2d plus 2 equals -1.2. Now you want the d by itself, so you eliminate this. That eliminates. 0.2d equals -1. -3.2. Then you divide on both sides because this is multiplication. The inverse of division. Sorry, not the d. So d equals divided by 0.2, -16. D equals -16. Why did you choose the answer? You put that here, -16, right? And then why did you choose the answer? You either explain what you did, which would be a lot, or you can show this work and send it to my number, or at TeacherMan91. Sugar, honey. That was 2 questions. You guys doing this on your own. Now, here, this is probably the easiest part of the assignment. When you want to find the system of linear equations is when both equations equal each other. Same thing we did here, but we did this algebraically. This is on a graph. So whatever point these two meet up at, which would be right here, this is called a point of intersection, which would be -1 is the x and +3 is the y. -1, +3. Where is the solution to the system of equations? B. Right? Your answer, and then why did you choose the answer? It is B because both equations cross or intersect at -1, +3. That's all you got. Again, down here, right? Which statement explains why the point -2 is the solution of system equations below? Here, right? Because they meet at -2, +2. So, looking at these choices, it lies in the graph only on one of the equations. That's not true. It lies in the second quadrant of the coordinate plane. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. These are the quadrants. That's not necessarily true. It is in the second quadrant, but that's not why it's a solution of system of equations. It is the only point that satisfies both equations simultaneously. Simultaneously means at the same time. It is the only point that satisfies both equations. This is the first equation, this is the second equation. It satisfies both equations at this point. There you have it. See? And you really don't got to explain your answer here, but actually, yes, you do. You just explain whatever you wrote here, right? It satisfies only one point. It is the only point that satisfies both equations simultaneously. Whatever you put here, you put here. And there you have it. All right, I gave you a snapshot of that. I did 2 questions per standard, and now you have the rest on your own. We will go over the other few on Instagram Live, right? So I already gave you a starting point, and you can try the rest on your own. It's a long assignment, but if you get started Monday, you'll be able to chip at it fast away. Oh, that rhymed. So I will see you guys later for the next assignment. You guys have a great weekend, and let's start this week off strong. Tune into my Google Meets, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday and Thursday. Any questions, text me at 646-413-8362 or at TeacherMan91. Let's have a great week.